there was a writer and a management theorist, actually, named Cyril Northcote Parkinson.
Good name.
Yeah, old school. And Cyril was writing an essay, a humorous essay, and made this conjecture, which thereafter was known as Parkinson's Law, which is work expands to fill the time available for its completion.
Yes.
Which is very true.
Yes.
And, it was meant as a witticism, but it actually does describe something that happens. You have something to do, and you have a month to do it. It will take a month to get it done. That same thing, if it's due this afternoon, it will get done this afternoon. May not be done in exactly the same way, but you can get it done if the deadline is quicker.
Yeah.
Now, this is not, it is true. It's not a good excuse if you're a manager to give all of your employees extremely unrealistic deadlines. Right. Because that's not how those things work.
Right.
You can't just say, build me a product in an hour. We're going to have a meeting and we're going to launch it. Some things do take time. The best way to think of Parkinson's Law, actually, we just talked about counterfactual simulation. Parkinson's Law is a case where counterfactual simulation can be quite valuable.
Okay.
So let's say you do have a project and you're expecting that it'll take a long time. You can do a counterfactual simulation that say, what would have to be true if we were able to launch this product or start testing it next month or next week?
Got it. So it's a tool.
It's a tool.
Cool,
it's a specific way of doing a counterfactual that will allow you to actually start simulating some things that you may at first appear to be unrealistic.
Right. We even did this with the book.
Right. So what would happen if we were able to get the book done, in a compressed period of time? And that simulation led us to a couple of techniques, one of which is actually recording the chapters verbally and, so dictating and having it transcribed. Made a lot of progress on the book in a very short amount of time because we did this simulation.
Right.
And so, using Parkinson's Law, the best way to use it is as a counterfactual. And, the other thing too is this is a technique used, or it came from a quote by Ingvar Kamprad, who not many people know the name, but he's actually the founder of IKEA. He's Swedish.
Oh, cool.
And he said, the quote goes something along the lines of, if you split your day into 10-minute increments, manage your schedule.
Yeah.
And you try to waste as few of those 10-minute increments as possible, you'll be amazed at what you can get done in a day. And I call that Ingvar's rule. So it's really nice because so many times, for those of us who are working or have worked in large companies, the default meeting time, tends to be an hour, whether you really need it or not.
Yeah.
Often you can get just as much, if not more, done if you assume that the basic unit of time for a meeting is 10 minutes.
That's nice.
So, what would it look like if you were able to cover everything that you need to cover in that meeting in 10 minutes? And, if you can start to apply this rule, just compress the time period and try to get the same results. And what would you do differently?
Yeah.
What would you try? What would you test? And, this is also, another thing that I like, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but, the concept of a dash. Or, setting a small amount of time, say, what would happen if I could get this done in this time?
Okay.
And the nice part about it is it can lead you to different approaches or different ways of doing things that you might not have otherwise considered.
Cool.
That is Parkinson's Law.